What's going on, guys? Thomas Texas out here, just sitting out enjoying a bit of a smoking on a clove. And today we're going to pick back up on how we did use the Q avomator to make that Apehanger riding pose. We're going to use that pose to make the other bike poses, like turning left, turning right. So I'm going to bring up my Q avomator. Well, I thought it was going to go right in my little recording window. There we go. Alright, so we're going to start by in a file, open, I'm lost. Drive. Oh, there it is right there. Now, I already did earlier today. I made the turning right and left pose, which is really easy, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. You see here, I have the Apehanger riding pose, and what we're going to leave the pose just as it is, with the X position at 0, or the X and Z positions at 0, and the Y position at 3. We're going to do the other poses off of this positioning, because it's going to do a couple things. The main thing is when we upload this into, or when we bring these poses into the world and we throw them in our bike, we're going to be using the ACS scripts, which are also known as the KCP scripts, and those are we're going to be able to set all the positions, and so we don't have to go to each and every single pose to adjust it. We'll just be able to hit all, and it's going to adjust, or it's going to arrange all the poses at once. And if we have them all sitting like this in the same position, that's going to make it that much easier. We won't have to go to each and every pose and fix it and adjust it. And also, when we switch between poses, we're not going to be doing, we should hardly, if at all, do any little hopping. Sometimes your avatar will hop between poses if they've been made in like different heights, and even though you got them all adjusted perfectly, sometimes there's a little hop between poses. But we should be able to go right into the turning poses and then back to riding straight pose without any hops. So it should be very, very smooth. And so if you're making your poses, just record whatever, or not record, but just write down whatever positioning numbers you have, so you'll be able to keep all of your poses at that position. So what I did, we're going to adjust this one pose, and it's going to end up helping us to make two poses. So we're just going to turn the neck slightly, and then all I did was I just turned the head slightly, like that. I didn't just turn the head, I turned the neck too, to kind of make it look a little more natural. And then I just kind of picked the head back a little bit like that. Maybe not, maybe I didn't do it quite as much. There we go. And that's all I did. And then I went to File, and then I saved it. And there it is right there. I saved it as Apehanger right. And then remember, you got to do .bvh. Now I'm not going to save this one because I already have it saved. And then what I mean by adjusting one pose to make two poses is we've adjusted this one for the right. Now check this out. We're going to go up to Tools, and then hit Mirror, and boom, there's the left pose right there. And then all you do is just go to File, Save As, and then save it as whatever, turning left, and then remember .bvh. It must be BVH, or it's not going to be, it won't be recognized as a pose when you upload it in Second Life. I mean, you might not even be able to find it if it's under the default AV. What was it? It wants to save under AVM, and you won't be able to find it if you save it like that and then try to upload it in the Second Life, it has to be BVH to be uploaded or to be recognized as a pose. So got right and left. Now what I'm going to do is just reopen Drive. Unsaved changes you want to. Yeah, are you sure you want to continue to lose all unsaved data? Yes, it's no problem. And let me see, we got ride. We got riding straight, turning left and right, and what else? We can do like a starting pose. If you're using the ACS scripts, those are very advanced scripts. Well, they're the most advanced commercially available scripts in Second Life, and there's a ton of different poses that you can have within that script system. There's turning left or right, driving straight, there's park, there's idle, there's what else? Starting, shifting, I believe. So let's see, I guess we can do an idle pose with this. And the idle poses and park poses are tricky though, because there's like so many poses you can do with the idle. It's not, I mean, you're kind of limited, but I mean, you don't want to get anything where he's too far, like away from the bike or off the bike. Park, definitely you have like so much to play with there with the park, because there's so many positions. You don't even have to be on the bike. You can park and be like off the bike standing. So let's see, for an idle pose. Okay, first what I'm going to do, his leg will be on the ground, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to raise him up. And I remember his Y position was at 3. And let's see. I'm going to move him to where I think he would be sitting on the bike. I'm probably about that high. And now I'll just grab this leg. And I'll just move it down. Maybe even move it a little more out. A little more down. Okay, it's already touching the ground, or his feet. His foot's already touching the ground, so that's probably good. Now what else can he be doing? I wonder if I should have him scratching his ass. That'd be funny, like you just like pull up, you're idling, and you're just like scratching his butt. Oh, I just got a Midnight Mania message saying that they didn't find enough people to get the prize won. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about the those Midnight Mania boards, the MM boards, where so many people slap a board and you get the prize sometimes. Just got the message that I think it was like 5 people had to slap the board, and usually it's like anywhere from like 150 to like 500 people. And it was just like 5 people, and they couldn't find 5 people to slap the board. That's sad. It's gonna look so stupid. He's just gonna be scratching his butt. Man, I don't know what to do. See, I shouldn't do that, because then it's gonna look like he's rubbing his ass, and like that's not what I'm trying to do. I might be like, oh, he stopped. He's at idle, and his butt hurts. Maybe I have him rubbing his stomach or something. I tell you, it's tricky, because there's so many crazy poses you can do. It's just ridiculous what kind of crazy poses you can do in this thing. You know what? That's what he could be doing. He's wiping the bugs away from his mouth. That's what he's going to be doing on idle. Spin the hand back. Okay, I'm gonna pop up this real quick. I'm gonna make this idle animation kind of a long one. Just because I'm gonna go ahead and move him down to at this point while we're still, there we go, before we move forward with the animation. I'm gonna pick this spot here, and now we're gonna actually start. See, this pose isn't going to be all that. I mean, this animation is not going to be quite as quick as. Not going to be quite as quick as the one for the ride, but that's alright. At least I got a plan now. I know where I'm going, what direction I'm going with this. Well, it's kind of tricky to get the right position to see. Okay, like that. Like that. I'm going to go ahead and move his head forward. And lean it a little bit like that. And right about here. Have his head right about there. That. You know, I'm keeping his hand away from his head, kind of far away from his head, because if you get close, you could end up putting your hand through your head once you upload it in the Second Life, because everybody's got a different build on their avatar. And what's fine, what would be your hand above your thigh for one avatar, for the next one, if they're thick, they could be putting their hand into their leg. It's gonna flick. So he's either wiping away sweat, or he's wondering why he didn't swerve for that squirrel on the road. Have the hand go down. That. Curve the hand down again and start spinning it. And you can always roll this little button back here to see your animation playing. Looks good so far. Oops. Moving along quite nicely. We're at 30 frames per second with this animation. The lower number you go, like 20 frames, of course it's going to be slower animation. And the higher number is faster animation. Okay, as that looking so far? You can always test your stuff as well. Oh, that's looking really good. Okay. I'm just left clicking when I grab these, when I grab these limbs. To move them, I'm just left clicking, and to cam around, I'm just left clicking the ground. You don't need to use Alt to look around. You just left click on the ground, just pick a spot and move around. You can scroll in and out. Move his arm more like this. How's that? Okay, twist that like so. His hand's kind of close to his thigh. There we go. That. Come over here, and I'm going to have him actually raise his hand up. And right there, I'm going to have him slap his hand down to right there. That, let's see, and then green. There we go. And bring his hand back. Have this come back. Leave that out a little bit more, like so. There we go. Push the camera back and let's see. Oh yeah. That's not going through his leg. Nah, it's far enough away. It's going through the floor, but that's alright. He's wiping the sweat off. Ugh, bugs. Whoa, squirrel guts. Whoa, road grime. Throws it behind him. This is where it really gets fun because you're doing all this extra movement in the idle. KFC grease. Kind of shakes it off and returns his hand back. Let me see. Okay, and you see here these little black squares. That means you're getting towards the end of the frames, and you just click to add some more. So then I'm going to have him actually start looking around too. Just so this idle pose will show some interest. It won't just be the same, like boring, just kind of sitting there doing nothing idle. I want to have a bit of fun with it. And we'll see, is he moving his head too fast? Nah. Add more frames as needed. What about here? I'll have him turn his head back. Him or her. Whichever rider, whichever sex you are when you, whichever sex your avatar is, doesn't matter. So I'll say him and I'll switch between calling the mannequin a him and her, because I'm dyslexic like that. Okay, so he's looking around, looks around. Have him look down, or have her look down. And right about there, we just have to look down. Yeah, some more. Turn ahead. Add more frames. You could just type it as well. We got 227. Let's go 275. There we go. Where's our marker? There's our marker. Looking around. Grab the head again, move it. Looking like that. And we'll have to pick her head up. Kind of look back to the front. And let's see, then what we're going to do is, let's go 75, let's go 350, let's go to 350. And then right here, loop out, I'm going to put 350. And then with this marker at 2, I'm going to hit this loop, and we're going to see how this plays. Now we can get up to 800 frames. We're only on 350. Well, right now we're at 350. Well, we can go 800 frames, so you can have a lot. You have 30 seconds to make an animation, which is pretty long, and make a very, very interesting animation. We're not going to go that long though. For this idle, we're just going to go. I can't think of anything else at the moment to have her do while she's sitting at idle. So what we're going to do is go and stop this. We're just going to play through one more time, or we can just grab this to stop it. There we go. Then what we're going to do is we're going to line up on this. This is our second frame, which is the start pose. And then what we're going to do is, let me see, I'm going to go to copy, click copy, and bring out the pose, and all the way here at the end, right there, we're going to hit this clipboard and the paper, which is going to paste. So that way, as it nears the end of the animation, it goes right into a seamless loop into the beginning of the animation. Now let me see what we're at. Looks good. We're going to start at 2 and hit loop. She's going to wipe, and then she's going to start bringing her hand back up. There we go. And she starts wiping all over again, wiping the sweat, because you know how sweaty you can get when you're riding out there. You have a lot of sweat sticking around. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the position of the arm. I want the arm down because it's kind of gradually going back up. Let's see. I'm just going to click on one of these to see where it lands me. Okay, that's her shoulder. Normally you would have it just loop in. Loop back into the pose, but I just don't like how she's like throwing up her hand towards the end, so I'm going to actually set it down. So it's going to be kept down. There we go. Rotate like that. There we go. Let's see, bring that out. thing's almost like a Rubik's Cube. Like there's almost like an algorithm to like getting the arm to move in the way that you want. That. What about that shoulder? And that shoulder out. There we go. There we go. Now I think it's acting right. There we go. There we are. Hold that like that. Got that hand up there. There we go. That's what I wanted. And then fold it kind of close to the body. Somewhat. There we are. Now how's that look? Think that would be a little better? I think so. If I can land on two. There we go. Is going to be a little bit of a jump as our hand goes up. That's all right. Kind of looking around steadily. There we go. All right, that works. Looks good. So that's our. That'll be our idling animation. There we go. Cut that racket out. Now we're going to go to Tools. Oops. Optimize VVH. There we go. Cleans up the animation. Any unused animations get deleted, and then save as. And we're going to go to outside here. We're going to go Apehanger drive ride. We want Apehanger idle dot BVH. All right, now we're going to do a park animation. Let's see. Oh, actually, we can go in. We could do a reverse animation. That would be pretty cool. Open. Back into here. And let's. We'll start with the drive animation. Open. And this one is going to be an animation as well. This is going to be faster. I'll probably cut a big chunk of that, making that idle animation out, just because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know where I was going with the idle. I didn't know what kind of pose to put her in. So many different choices. Let's see. Up, up, up. Yeah, way too high. Just want it. Okay, that's about good right there. So we just have a kind of a ground as a reference. And for this is going to be a reverse animation. Very cool, very fun and easy to make this one. But strangely, it's one that you don't see in Second Life. Well, you don't see this type of reverse animation that we're about to make. Well, usually it's not even an animation. Usually for bike builders, when they do a reverse animation, it's gonna look, well, it looks similar to what we're gonna do, but we're gonna add a little extra piece to it. That looks good. I'm gonna move this forearm out a little bit more, out, or down rather. Move this shoulder out like that. There we go. Turn the hand a bit. Bring it up so it ain't gonna be through our thigh. There we go. Grab the neck. Turn the neck to the left. Turn the head to the left. Tilt the head up. Let me see. Actually, you know what? No, the head's gonna be down. The head's gonna be down a little bit. There we go. Kind of a far look to the left. I don't want to make her look like she's an owl or anything, or like she has a broken neck. Now the fun part we're gonna do is hold down Shift, double click on the thighs. We're gonna bring those down just a little bit. There we go. Move back this leg, move up the foot. I don't know what direction is up. It's not the blue axis, it's the red one. What is this foot at? 16, okay. I just straighten it out. There we go. Alrighty, and well, typically this is how the reverse poses is reverse poses are for motorcycles in Second Life. But what we're gonna do is move this back like so. Gonna probably have to turn that knee out. Well, you know, I think it's the foot. The foot needs to be turned out. There we go. Alright, that's the start. And we're going to go and sink it down. 2, 3. I just had it. There we go. Alrighty, now what we're going to do is click over here. Grab the left. We can grab through the floor, and we're just going to move that back. Grab this one and move it forward like so. This will be a really easy one. Grab the foot, bend it forward, roll back. Yeah, it looks good. Grab this foot, don't forget to bend this foot. Bend it forward. And there. And then forward a little bit. And reverse this. Reverse the legs. This one back out. And that seemingly broken foot, twist that down. Alright. Gonna knock these down all the way to... I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out just a little bit. Out just a little bit. Out just a little bit. And out just a little bit on the same line. There we go. Shrink this down to 25. 25, and then put loop in 2, loop out 25, and hit, well, that should look pretty cool. Back to the second frame and hit, and there we go. A reverse motorcycle pose where you're actually moving your feet back as you would in real life to shift the bike backwards. So that looks good, so we're going to go ahead and stop it. Tools, optimize BVH, clean that up, hit File, Save As, and I'm actually, once I load these up, I'm going to then of course put them in the folder labeled Uploaded Poses to SL. So reverse BV or .bvh, there we go. Save. And then we got the parking one, which is going to be, I don't know, that parking one's going to be tricky because I have no idea what to have them do on the parking. Alright, now I have it figured out now what to do for the park pose. Man, it really had me stumped because, to be honest, I'm like crazy enough to have some like nasty stuff for a park pose. I mean, it's just virtual reality. You can do anything you want. So it's like, why limit yourself to something just like mundane when you can just go like all out and be so wild? And to be honest, I'm actually surprised that I've yet to see naked women on the bikes, like on the tanks, or like on the fenders. I feel like I'm the only person in SL that does that puts that. I got it on a couple of my bikes, not all of them, but a few of them I do have that, and I'm so surprised that I don't see that more. But let me know if you've seen that in world more of adult type art on motorcycles, on the gas tanks, or on the fenders, or on the oil tanks. Because I've seen I know of the couple that I've done, but I haven't really seen anybody else's stuff. It's going to be a static pose, so I'm just going to bring it up a little bit so I can concentrate on the feet a little easier. Feet look good, but I think I'm going to move them up. There we go. In fact, I think everything on this mannequin is going to be symmetrically arranged. Need these to be a little lower. You notice I spun the mannequin 90 degrees to the left, so when you take the park pose, your avatar is going to automatically go He's like, suck it, suck it. Your avatar is going to automatically spin around to the side. Of course, with those ACS KCP scripts, you can always like spin. You can spin your avatar around too, manually through the pose positioning or the pose adjuster. But like I said, this one's going to be it's going to be all set. It's going to just be an automatic thing. You're just going to spin around without any hops in your avatar. I wish you could. I wish there was a way you can set like a second mannequin in this. Actually, if y'all do find that out, let me know in the comments if you can't add a second mannequin in this. I don't think you can though. But that would sure help out a lot of like couple poses. Trying to guesstimate here. The hands need to be lower. I mean, the arms need to be lower. Probably like that. I'm going to have the hands straight out. I'm going to have the hands bent back. Probably like that. Down a little bit. I guess that's... Oh, there we go. To the side. I think that's good. Come on, button. Button's not. Trying to think, see if bike seat is about at a level kind of by where your hip is. So I'm guessing the other passenger's hip's going to be a little bit, maybe a little above. Maybe a little above yours, or a little above the rider's, a little up. Probably like that. I mean, if anything, I can always come back and adjust this if it's not totally correct in world. But I think that's about good. Sink it down. 3. There we go. That is the rider position. And we can always fine-tune spin these if it has to be spun a little bit more to the right or left. You can do that through the ACS scripts. Otherwise, if you don't have the ACS scripts, you can always put like a sit pose in, a sit script in like part of the engine or something, and then another script in the like a fender or something, and you can adjust the XYZ positioners so the people line up right. That looks pretty good right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and save that. File save as, I'm going to go back out, and Apehanger park.bvh. Alright, and now it's time for the passenger park. And for that, we're just gonna open up a fresh fresh mannequin. Go to 2. Grab the hip, and we're going to spin that one in the opposite direction. Right about there, looks good. And before I sink this, I'm going to fix the feet. About like that's good. Gonna turn out the calves a little bit. Bring in the feet a little. There we go. That looks about good. Take that hip and bend it forward a little bit, like so. Hold down shift, double click on the thighs. Bring those forward a little bit. Just right like that. Bend that back a little bit. Bend that back a little bit. Back. You know what I mean. Now this is interesting. We can have the passenger. We're gonna have the passenger standing up, and then like they're being hugged by the rider, and we can either have them look forward at the rider, or we can have them looking back. I guess we'll just have them looking at the rider. That'd probably be the best thing. So what we're gonna do is, I gotta find what's the X position. Let's see. Is X position away? There we go. So we're sitting at 0 is here. So we want probably about there. We're gonna have to adjust this anyways because it's gonna be coming. The poses and stuff are gonna be set in the rear. Stop dancing. I'm trying to get 18. You know what? I'm just gonna type it in. Since you want to be a pain in the ass, Q Avimator. There we go. 18. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, since the poses are going to be all stuck in the passenger seat, this pose will have to be adjusted. Anyway, this one is going to have to be adjusted, but the rider one will be able to turn right away. I mean, it'll automatically go into the park pose. We won't have to adjust it. We'll adjust it with all the other poses. Is what I'm trying to say. So we're gonna have this one out like about like that, because then we're gonna go and bend the forearms like so. Twist them into each other. Pick another spot. There we go. Click the hands. And red roll those hands, roll them on the red axis. Okay. This one's already rolled in, right? Yeah, that's rolled in. We're going to need the the upper arm. We're going to need to adjust those out. There we go. We can turn them out. Yeah, like that. What does green do? Green is going to bring them a little more out. Yeah, some guys are wide in SL, so that'll work. She can have her right about there. A lot of guys are about as wide as their bikes in SL, so that's good that she's got a wide stance, or a wide hand stance, arm stance, wide hand width, a wide, you know what I mean, wide hand-to-hand width. And let's see, he was looking up, so we're going to have her. Well, she was looking up, so this one is going to be looking slightly down. There we are. Kind of looks like a zombie coming at you. But now it's going to look good in the final. In the final pose, or once it's in the bike. 5, 4, 3. Give me 3. There we go. So that's where our rider is sitting, or where our rider is positioned. So she'll have to be. Just trying to get somewhat close, so it makes it a little bit more easy for us to adjust this pose. So I guess it's sitting at 10. I guess sitting at 10 is good. What if arms need to come down a little more then? I'm going to leave them like that, and if I have to adjust, I can adjust and re-bring the pose back in. Just re-upload it after I adjust it. Now this one's going to be Apehanger. I'm going to put a capital P and then park. So we know that's passenger park. .bvh. Okay, and there's the passenger park. I'm trying to think of anything else, because more than likely I'm just going to use the passenger, what do you call it, the passenger idle and passenger drive that I have from the default pose pack from the ACS scripts. But these were just a few custom poses I wanted to upload. Well, the ones for the rider, of course, that they don't make. I haven't seen Apehanger riding poses that are that high as we made them, but they sure do sell handlebars that are that big, but they just don't have the, I mean, if you wanted to match up the pose, you'd have to get these other poses and try to match it up, and it often ends up with your legs being cocked up high in the air because you're sitting at an odd angle. But with this special Apehanger pose pack that we made, they should look just fine sitting on a bike with big Apehanger handlebars. So that concludes. I'm trying to think of anything else. There was like the shift pose too, but I mean really that would just be moving your foot. It almost, you wouldn't even really need, well, think we should do a shift pose? I guess we could do a shift pose. Let's go ahead and open it up and do a shift pose then. There we are, and for the shift, well, I say shift pose, but it's actually going to be a quick animation. And you shift from the left foot, so all it's going to be is going to be a really quick animation. Let's see. Let's see, up is low gear, down is high gear, so we'll just have them foot pretty exaggerated down so you can see it. And I'm going to add, there we go, and right about here the foot, actually what position was the foot in this one? On the red it was 9, okay, so here the foot will be back to 9. I'm just going to type it in. And there we go. Now it's going to scoot the frames up. There we go. Move the bar back. And we're going to check this shift out. hit loop. There we go. Click. How come it wasn't looping? Oh. See, if it's not looping, you gotta come here to loop out and type where the last frame is. 21. There we go. Now it'll loop properly instead of just playing once. There we go. Click, click, click. You see his feet moving? His foot moving. Click, click, click. I mean, you'd be pulling in the clutch too, but you're not gonna see that because his hand's gonna already be at fist. All right, so that's that. What else can we do? We can do like a start, probably a start animation, which should just be moving his hand back. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna save this. Well, tools, optimize BVH, clean up any animations, even though we didn't really have that many animations. Still, it'll help clean up the animations. Save. I'm gonna go back out and Apehanger shift dot BVH. And you know what? From the shift, we're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna left click on this, delete, click on that, delete, and now we're gonna use this for the start animation. So I'm gonna click right here, grab the throttle hand, which is the right hand, and what is my axis? Blue. And I'm gonna push it forward, rock it backwards. Yeah, I'm gonna rock it backwards. Rock it backwards like that, like he's pulling the throttle. And then, what was the default on the hand? It was blue axis on 9. Goes to negative 34. You bump this up a little bit. And then I'll just put it back to 9. Whoop, on the blue axis. So I'm still thinking in the foot mode. I'm trying to go up on the red axis. There we go. And bump that down 21. Loop in 2. Loop out 21 right here. So we'll move this back and we'll check this out. Oh, you know what? Tools, optimize. There we go. And now I'm going to loop it. And we'll see. And that's the... It's like he's waving a gnat off instead, but that's the starting. We'll use that as the start. We'll say that, you know, his hand's going to be at fist, so it's going to be like he's doing the throttle. That's a good starting animation. It's electric. But we don't have the fine finger movements, or else I'd have him like be pressing his thumb out. That'd be pretty cool if he had all the like the finger movements. You could, if you had the fingers to move, that would be cool, because they can actually have him pushing buttons and stuff. But that'll work. I'm going to go to optimize this one more again. File, save as Apehanger. Apehanger start .bvh and save. And there we go. So now we got drive straight, idle, park, turn left, turn right, start, and shift. And I think that's it. There may be other poses inside the ACS script that are available, but I haven't. That's the extent of the poses I've seen. And then of course the passenger poses, which I believe are about the same number of poses. I don't know if there's like a start for the passengers, but I definitely know that there's drive, idle, park. There's probably turn left and turn right. They can move with you, but we're just gonna have them just sitting back there holding on. I think in real life you wouldn't have your passenger shifting around with you. They'd be sitting still, or as still as they can be. So we're gonna go and upload I'm gonna go and upload these into SL, and then we're gonna see them function because I have a bike, or the yellow bike that I've made for the making a one prim white wall tire out of a sphere. That bike that you see in that video is going to be the one that's going to get all these poses, and then we're going to see how this stuff works. So I'm going to show, I'll probably do a video showing like how to adjust like all the poses and all that. You know, that's pretty easy to do, but I'll still probably show that. But this has been making the post pack for an Apehanger motorcycle in Second Life using the Q Avimator. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the comment section. Take care, guys. One more thing I almost forgot. Remember how when we were in Singularity, when you're in Singularity and you go to upload your pose, the pose is being modeled by a gray featureless mannequin or avatar. Well, if you come in, if you have Firestorm, try to upload your poses in Firestorm, because when you do that, they use your avatar as the mannequin, or as the avatar that models the pose, and then you can see if part of the pose is messed up or wrong, or you don't like it, you can always hit cancel. And I'm going to show you that real quick. It's kind of like a safeguard. I'm going to turn off my AO. I'm going to hit fly because I want to fly up a little bit, because remember our legs are going to stick into the ground because these are vehicle poses, and we had to set them low so we won't raise up our vehicle. Upload this real quick, and the upload is in the build tab. It's no longer in the avatar tab. Animation, open, and here is what I'm talking about. Right here. See, we're taking the do loop. Priority 4, yeah, 300, 300, that's good. Hand posed. Relaxed for the idle. Should it be relaxed, or should it be like, well, it should be like fist right. And if I can, camera's being a biznatch. Okay, now I can see, you can see the hand, and you can see that there is some clipping. There is actually some clipping through with my hand through my pants a little bit. It's not bad enough where I'd fix it. I would leave it like that. It's not horrible. His hand's actually in the perfect spot to be wiping it off from that that chicken grease from that chicken he was eating earlier. Looks like blech. So that's perfect. I'm gonna do hand pose is gonna be fist right. That sounds nasty. Fist right. There we go. So you hold on to the handlebars with your fist, and then this hand's being wiping away. Looks good to me. Oh, let's see how close his hand is to his face. Smack yourself in the face. Yeah, it's kind of far away. That's weird, isn't it? Because that hand was right on that avatar's face. I mean, on the mannequin's face, but that's good. And stop, and then see, we got priority 4. It's looped. It's going in, easing out of 0.300. Fist right. Expression none. We could be funny and make him like, what's that? Frown. There we go. He's like, bleh. He's all like pissed off. Bleh. Yeah, we're gonna keep that. Okay, stop that, and then we'll upload. Alrighty. Alright, guys. So that concludes making those poses. I try to be fairly quickly on making them. I just got kind of stumped on the idle and park pose, but we got through it alright. So this is Thomas XSL saying, keep enjoying your summer. Stay tuned for more tutorials, and take care.